I don't live life, life lives me. So it's really hard for me to have normal times. Hi, this is, uh, what? Welcome to the Triad. We're spooky but sensitive and sleep deprived. I'm Hannah.
I'm Shannon.
I'm Shelby.
I totally forgot. Oh my god. Okay.
Real quick, before we jump in, do we have any announcements?
It is super windy here today, so
Great.
it's making my house shake a little bit. So if you hear noises, that's probably why.
All right, cool. Mine is that I went to Champaign last weekend and got to see like our new neighborhood and
Yeah.
all that fun stuff. So, got to walk around school, and then I got my graduate assistantship, so I'm getting like a virtually free master's degree. And then exactly a week later, I got rejected for a fellowship. So win some, you lose some.
Hey, whatever works.
Yeah, I'd rather have a free master's than that summer fellowship. So.
Well, yeah, because wasn't the fellowship unpaid?
No, it was paid.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't have applied for it if it was unpaid.
Fair.
No, it was like $6,000 for a summer, but
That's not bad.
no, but like that versus the free master's degree. And by free, I mean I'm not going to have to take out loans. So, yeah. Oh, and then my dog has a possible wart or something on her foot, and it's fucking disgusting. And
I'm pretty sure it's a wart.
It probably is.
It sounds like a wart.
I'm still going to take it in just in case.
Well, yeah. But,
plus, she's behind on vaccinations, so may as well just knock those out, too.
just from
Oh
your
my God,
description,
don't be an
it sounds like
anti-vaxxer,
when I
Mom.
have warts.
She's only behind because I was living at my mom's house for 5 months and didn't have easy access to a car, and then I moved away from my old neighborhood, so I couldn't get her to the vet, like her old vet, and then she didn't need to go. So my plan was to get her caught up on vaccinations after we moved, and I could drive her. But now with that gross thing on her foot, it literally looks like a brain on one of them, and then the other one, she's just been, I know it's bugging her because she's been chewing on it, so I want to get it off. So,
Gross.
it's fucking gross, dude. It's nasty.
And I say that vaccination thing to you as though I do anything for Peppa. She probably has rabies. This bite that I have in my hand looks pretty bad.
Probably.
So,
Yeah,
there's that.
I don't want Maisie to get another parasite. Like, that is my ultimate goal with her health.
You don't like worm poops?
That wasn't that. No, she had worms and a parasite. Those were at different times.
No, I don't know.
Just so you know, I love your dog, but if she
fucking
gets
gross,
a brain
dude.
on her toe while we are living together, I will not look at it because I will vomit.
No,
Because
that's
even
fine.
just you
need
saying that
to.
makes me
I
nauseous.
know. It's gross. No, it's on her back
So-
foot. I only saw it by chance. I'm sure she's had it for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you don't have to. Just don't look at her foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if she has wormy poops, sorry, but that's on you.
No, I know.
Then
You're
she's
not-
an outside dog.
No, I'm not going to expect you to do literally anything for her ever. If you happen to want to walk her one day, that's fine, but I do not expect you to do anything for my dog.
Yeah, I'll take her for walks, but
Although even then, most of the
and
time.
I'll feed her and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll
But,
love
like,
her.
Yes. That's all I expect is for you to love her and not be mean to her.
I
said
can't
kick her.
guarantee Yuki
Just
won't
kidding.
be mean to her.
Oh no, I have no expectations for Yuki. No, Yuki might kill her. It'll
I
be
can
fine.
only control so much of the devil.
Okay, sorry. Hannah, did you have an announcement?
No.
Okay, then what's the topic?
Just go on the thing because it's another one of those surprise ones.
Is it in the
It says 41.
episode? Okay, so it's in yours.
Oh, yeah, it might be in my research. Sorry.
It's yours, episode 41?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure I click on the right thing.
Just make it big. Don't look at anything else.
Okay, I'm
I mean,
trying.
except for Audacity, but, you know.
Yes. It's loading. Okay, I'm on April showers bring ... Should I go to the next slide?
No. Where's
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
My computer's being super slow because I haven't turned it on in 2 weeks. Oh, also another announcement, I'm back from vacation. I spent 10 days in the desert, and I'm still a vampire. Because I am pale.
That's okay.
I got a sunburn in a
computer.
graveyard yesterday. I guess that's my announcement.
I got a sunburn walking around Champaign.
Yeah, but that's not as cool as in a graveyard, so.
No, it's not.
Just saying.
And it was literally like, we didn't even think about sunscreen because it's, spring.
Oh my god,
and,
computer, work with me.
No one thinks about sunscreen unless it's summer. Unless you're Hannah. But
Unless you're a ginger, and then you
Yeah.
can look at snow and get a sunburn.
yeah,
You
it went away. It wasn't a
are
bad
right.
one. It was just, it went away
That's probably
overnight.
why I'm so cold.
Ooh, yeah, probably.
Yeah,
everything
see,
makes sense.
y'all, are outside for 2 minutes and you get a sunburn.
Yeah, you just
and
have
I'm,
nothing.
I'm outside for 10 days straight in unfiltered sunshine with no sunscreen, and I am
There's just
half
nothing.
a shade darker than I was. Like, if I didn't know my
At least you
baseline color.
get a shade darker.
Okay,
Unless you count red as shade.
by a shade darker, I mean my skin is a little less blue. Because
True.
my veins are so blue that I come off as, gray. Like, I literally match the walls in my bedroom, which are gray. So
You do look very consumptive.
Yeah. So I
But, like
look
in a
little
cute way, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So by half a shade darker, I look a little bit less like I'm gonna drop dead at any moment.
There you go.
I'm not
A
like
cute Victorian
I'm not
way.
like Crypt Keeper level anymore.
No, you don't look like you're dying. You just look like you're like an artsy kind of poet from the Victorian age who's like choking on,
Right.
fumes from the factory all the time.
I've just got consumption. It's fine.
It's fine.
Are you on the
Anyway.
PowerPoint now?
I am. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. April showers bring. Do we know what that word is? Shelby.
Oh gosh, we're really testing. Nope.
Smert.
Yeah.
Death.
Death.
Okay, go to slide
Smert.
3.
Yay!
Oh yeah.
So, was
Today-
this going to be your long one?
Yeah.
Oh, so you finished the long one?
I copy and pasted a lot of things, and I have a lot of feelings.
Okay.
And I wrote a
Yay!
fanfic about the TV show. We're talking about Chernobyl.
Yay, Chernobyl.
I'm sorry, but you said I wrote a fanfic about the TV show, and my experience with fan fiction is all anime related, so it's I'm just like, but what?
I mean, if someone wants
My brain
to
was
draw,
like, they went on an adventure and fell in love? What?
if someone wants to write my Shergasov fanfiction as anime, I'm totally about it. But we'll get there in a
Look,
minute.
I can draw it.
Okay, so
Please do. Holy shit, I'd be so happy. Okay, what?
I thought we were still going for just ranting about Ghost Hunters when we had that
Oh,
Russian word up, and I
yeah.
was like, why the fuck is she bringing Russian into this? I thought we were going to complain
No.
about Zach Bagans. I was
No,
so
I said-
confused.
No, that'll be a different time. I
Yeah.
said I was going to try to finish this one, and I think I put as much information.
Okay. I misunderstood, and I thought we were moving on to shorter topic. So.
No.
Yeah.
No, because if I had a back bagel bites, what? A Zach. I'm having a stroke. A Zach Bagans rant, it would just be the green night vision camera for the entire.
True.
Hey demons, it's me, your boy.
Oh, and the reason I said April showers is because the Chernobyl disaster happened in April. So
Uh-huh.
How timely.
fun fact.
Okay.
All right.
I'm excited.
My sources are the BBC miniseries, which I know isn't technically a source, but there are facts at the end. So
Yeah.
it's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good. I rewatched it for this. Oh, and Shannon, you texted me that guy died, and I was like, I want to say something, but I
Oh,
can't.
no. Yeah, the guy who played Dyatlov passed away, I guess last week now, of a brain tumor. He was only 52 or something.
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah.
And then you also said that you got something from Ukraine, and I was like, Hannah, shut up. Don't say anything. Don't give it away. Also, I wanted to send you guys a TikTok about naming your child hydroelectric power plant, but in Russian. And oh God, I have so many things to tell you now because I've been holding it all back. So anyway, the BBC miniseries, Wikipedia, worldnuclear.org, the WHO, and history.com.
Okay.
Cool.
So let's just, yeah. Yes, Shelby?
Oh, sorry. No, my brain is not functioning.
Okay, it sounded like you were gonna say something, and then
Yeah, it did. You
Yeah.
said, and then
Yeah, I
just
was
stopped.
gonna say something, and then my brain was like,
Never mind.
404 error, page not found.
This site under construction, and then there's like a little digging gif in your head.
Your brain cells
Right.
were occupied with other matters.
Basically.
Okay, so you guys can go to slide 5. Let's talk about
Cool.
Pripyat. So,
So
Pripyat was
pretty.
a city in northern Ukraine near the Belarusian border. It was named after the river that was nearby, and it was founded in February of 1970, which is when the power plant started construction. And it was called an Atomgrad. So, like, you know how grad is like a town
City?
ending, like ville or ton?
Yeah.
It's the
Sure.
same thing. It just means that it was a well, Shannon,
Yeah,
think of
it
like
kinda just means,
Leningrad
like,
or Stalingrad.
No,
or
I know,
whatever.
I just never
Yeah, it
made
just
the-
basically means city,
Yeah.
essentially.
I just didn't know. Like, I
Or
know that
town.
those cities end in grad. I just didn't know that that was what that meant. You know what
Now
I mean?
you know.
Yeah, now I'm learning.
She's learning. She can learn. Okay, so it was called an Atomgrad, and it was Atomgrads were these closed towns within the Soviet Union, which usually had some kind of military or national asset within them. So for Pripyat, it wasn't technically like a restricted town. Like, you could go there, but you were probably like totally tailed by the KGB. But what it was the city was built in order to supply the nuclear power plant with personnel of all different kinds. So whether it was like security or scientists or just, you know, like secretaries, whatever. It was
Yeah.
The town of Pripyat was made to house them and their families. So it was
So it's
officially
like-
declared. What?
Kind of like a mining town, but with an extra layer of you can't be here unless you're supposed to be here.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
within the Soviet Union, like, there was things were heavily regulated, like travel
Oh, yeah.
especially. So
Yeah.
definitely there was probably like if you had some kind of mark on your record, they're like, hell no, you can't go out there. What? No, stay
Gotcha.
in wherever you are. But yeah, it just yeah, yarp.
Okay.
Yarp. Yeah, okay. So I'm really sleep deprived. I'm on my second coffee. We'll see how it goes. I don't know.
She also
Oh.
had a weekend. We'll leave it at that. She had a weekend, so
A
like,
weekend with a capital W.
yeah.
I just want to do a quick disclaimer. All three of us know a lot about this, but this is going to be a very, like, crackhead energy episode. I can
It
already
is.
feel it. So,
It is.
like, just know that we do know what we're talking about.
We're not complete idiots all the time, we promise.
Listen, if the
We're just-
introduction didn't give away our energy this morning, then this afternoon, oh my god, it's already afternoon, then I don't know what did. So,
Yeah.
Right.
buckle up.
So,
We're gonna make Chernobyl fun. As fun as we can.
something like that.
Speak for yourself. Okie dokie. For the ninth
My
time,
cat
it
is
was-
glaring at me because I'm laughing too much. It's keeping her awake.
Oh,
and
God,
she's
Maisie does
mad
that.
about it.
Yeah. Sorry, Hannah. Go
Peppa
ahead.
has her. She's pretending to sleep in that way that cats pretend to sleep with their ears like pressed flat
Oh.
against their skull because they're like, I'm really pissed at you right now.
Yeah.
And I think it's for the same exact reason.
Yeah.
It's the I'm pissed at you. I'm gonna turn my back to you. You are
If
the
you are a
worst.
disappointment.
If Maisie
My
was in
bowl
here,
is
that's what
half
she would be
empty.
doing.
Oh, Yuki's also mad because she didn't get any soft food today. Because,
Oh.
I mean, how dare we?
Yeah.
Wow, aren't
But,
you?
okay.
Prissy princess.
Look, I don't give it to her. My mother does. So
Yeah, Maisie doesn't like being inspected, so she's still mad at me for looking at her toe yesterday.
how dare you, Shannon? How
dare you lay
look at
eyes
my
on
toe
me.
brain?
That's gross.
Yeah.
The dog has puppy
So
papillomavirus.
Anyway.
Anyway,
Oh,
Pripyat was officially declared a city in 1979. So, jeez, crow.
Oh god, okay. I'm good. I'm calm.
Do you ever... Never mind.
Now you're going off topic.
I was gonna say, do you ever look at your Audacity and it just looks like fish bones? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Especially when you laugh or like make a weird noise, like throaty noise.
Yes.
I look at everyone's Audacity every week, so yes.
Doesn't it look like a bunch of fish bones?
Yes.
Shit is just like all the fish bones.
Fish massacre up in here.
I've gotten to the point I can tell what sound. No, just real quick. Like, whenever anyone coughs or like clears their throat, I know what each individual person's sound wave looks like for that because we do it
Oh
constantly.
my goodness. Probably like burps too.
Yep.
I see my tongue click on there all the time because I'm always like,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh my gosh.
I try to fix it.
Why
Sometimes
do I
miss
tongue
it.
click so much, y'all?
I know, I do. I'm so self-conscious about it.
Like, Shannon usually
I
edits it
try.
out, but every
Sometimes
once in
I
a while
forget, or I
she
don't
does
notice
it.
It's
And
not
it'll
on
be like
purpose.
it'll be like my episode, and I'll listen back to it, and I'm just like, am I that annoying?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I didn't edit it because I didn't notice it. So, like...
Yeah.
I bet
But then
other
I'm like,
people
do I do that in real life? Gross.
I apparently start sentences with it, which is really annoying.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I sniff
Yeah, I don't-
literally every 15 seconds. I'm sniffing. So, like, it's fine. We all have things I need to edit out of the show.
Anyway.
Okay,
Don't
let's
ever
go to the
record
actual
yourselves,
facts.
guys. You learned about all of the habits you hate about yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really gross. However, I have been going back and listening to our old episodes because I think we're freaking hilarious.
I know, sometimes I listen
Oh my
to
god,
us
I
and I'm
just
like,
did it!
oh my gosh, we are funny.
That made me so angry.
Okay, anyway, Pripyat.
Yes, Pripyat. It was
okay.
It was established as a town in 1979.
Okay.
That's as
so
far as
in
we've
19... What?
I said that's as far as we've gotten.
Oh my god, we're literally one sentence in. That's okay, because... Never mind, I'm not even gonna...
Oh wait, Hannah said no tangents. Okay.
No, please, because
That
now
rule
it's different.
changed.
That has definitely changed. Please,
Yeah.
Okay.
light
Has
this shit
changed.
up. Whatever, who cares? So in 1986, 49,360 people called Pripyat home.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a lot of people.
I know. It's a big city. It's a city. It's a city.
Yeah.
Did you know it was a city? Did I mention that it was a city?
Oh my god. It's a city?
So it was about 16 miles from, I don't know, from a larger, wait, everyone back up. So the nuclear power plant was intended to be made, like 16 miles or 25 kilometers away from, I don't know how to say this, it's not,
Let's see if I can find it in your notes.
KYIV. Kiev?
Kiev.
KYIV, but is it the U kind of a Y, or is it
Oh,
Ukrainian?
God.
Because then it's a fucking I sound, I think. Because Ukrainian is different from Russian, and oh my god, they have extra letters.
Is it Kiev, the city?
No, it's not Kiev.
Okay.
I don't think.
'Cause that's
I
what it
think
sounds
it's
like.
I think it's pronounced similarly though.
Yeah.
I think it's Kiev.
Oh, it is Kiev. Ha! Everyone, shut
Okay.
up. I'm so stupid. Shannon, make
Oh,
me
you're
sound
fine.
smart. So anyway, it was supposed to only be 25 kilometers or 60 miles from Kiev. God, I'm so stupid.
It's fine.
But the Ukrainian Academy of Sciences and other experts were like, that's too close to a city. And then
Yeah.
they were like, fine, we'll put it out in the woods. And so they did.
I
Good.
mean, that's probably for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now
Seems like
it's
a
like
good idea.
62 miles from Kiev.
Okay, that's better.
I mean, only kind of.
Only except not really at
It's
all.
still better. Like,
I mean, yes, but
All right, next slide.
Yuki, I swear to God, if you close out of anything on my computer.
Is she tap
Okay.
dancing on your thing?
No, she's like laying next to my computer, but she just, like, reached out her paw and was just like, your little trackpad, I'm just gonna mess with it.
Just gonna put my hot little hand on here.
But we're good. She's back to napping.
That's good.
Okay, so slide 6.
Woo.
This is the Vladimir Ilyich Lenin nuclear power plant, aka Chernobyl. That's like its real name. So the power plant itself consisted of 4 RBMK 1000 reactors. Oh my god. And then I tried to do science. So it means, well, first here's some Russian that I don't know. Reactor Bolshoi Moskva. Anyway, what it means is high power channel type reactor. So each was capable of producing 1000 megawatts of electric power and 3200 megawatts of thermal power. And the 4 together... Oh, wait, is this where I did the math? Not math, science. No, that's on the next page. Woo! Okay, no worries. And the 4 together produce about 10% of Ukraine's electricity in 1986. So...
Dang.
Ooh, that's
yeah,
a lot.
Yeah,
like
I didn't know it was that much.
big friggin' deal.
Yeah.
Which, like, I know that Ukraine isn't, like, a massive country, but still.
It's still
But it was
a lot.
like-
Like, that's a big percentage for one plant.
Yeah.
But it was, like, getting big at the time. It was, like...
Yeah.
You know, because the Soviets were in charge,
Yeah,
so they're like, let's
that's
do
true,
the city.
Yeah.
So reactor number 1 was commissioned in 1977, and it was the 3rd RBMK nuclear power plant in the USSR and the 1st in Ukraine. I think the other 2, one was in Russia and one might have been in Belarus. So the first reactor was completed in 1977, and it was followed by reactor number 2 in 1978, and number 3 in 81, and number 4 in 83. And then there were 2 more blocks that were planned to be built, so numbers 5 and 6. And they all by 2010, all 6 of them were supposed to be up and running. Because apparently, I guess it takes a long time to build such things. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, they have to build
So-
it, and they have to test it, and they have to do safety tests, so...
We're going to talk about some safety
Yeah.
tests. All right, anyway. So reactors number 3 and 4 were 2nd generation units, whereas 1 and 2 were 1st generation units. Okay, next slide. So, now here's science.
Real quick,
So,
sorry, just, I didn't
God, don't
realize
ask me
how...
questions.
No, I'm not. No, I'm just making a comment. I didn't realize how new these were. Like, for some reason, like, you know what I mean? Because, like, in relation
yeah,
to
you
the
would think they would be
accident-
old.
Yeah, I just thought they were older, but...
Yeah, I don't know why in my brain I was like, oh yeah, that's like the 1930s.
Well, I knew it wasn't that, but I just assumed it was like the,
Well-
I was thinking like the 50s?
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
because when we think of
hyperbole,
like
but
nuclear
still.
power, our first thing is like, oh,
We think
that
of the
all
atom
happened during the
bomb. Cold
War. Yeah, during like the
Yeah.
beginning
Yeah.
of the Cold War.
Yeah,
And so,
so I
like-
just assumed it was older.
Right.
And it's like, I know that like the Chernobyl accident was like historically not that long ago, but also I'm just like, that's so far removed from me and my life
Yeah.
that happened ages ago.
Yeah.
It did not. My dad wrote a paper about this when it first, like in college,
Right.
my dad wrote a paper about Chernobyl, like when it happened.
My mom did not, like, she barely remembers this happening. Like, because when I, like, first started watching the show, I asked her things sometime that I know she can't answer, just to see what her answer is. And I'm like, do you remember this happening? And she was like, I mean, I do,
Why do you do this to your mother?
because I'm mean to my mother. This
Leave
was
her
also,
alone.
I'm trying to think. This was in 86, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this would have been the year before her mom died, so her mom was sick, so she had other things going on.
Fair.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
But,
I think my parents like got married that year. Maybe?
maybe.
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, my mom also, I asked her about the Chicago Tylenol murders, did not remember that. And
Oh my
then
god.
she does remember the Challenger exploding. She does remember that, so that's good.
Did
like
you
I
know
said,
that John Denver was supposed to be on that?
No, I did not.
What?
Fun fact. Anyway.
Interesting.
Or some spacecraft, I believe it was. Yeah.
I don't know if it was that one, because they were just doing the teacher for that one. That was the
No,
one
they
with
were
the
trying to.
teacher.
They were like putting citizens in space.
Yeah, but this was the first one, and they specifically chose a teacher for
I don't
this
know. He was
specific
supposed
flight.
to. Then
I
he died
watched
in
the-
an airplane anyway.
Yeah, I watched the Netflix documentary. It's a very good
Okay,
documentary.
I don't know anything. What do I know?
It's fine.
I thought.
Let's move on.
Anyway. I thought you were going to ask me a question about an RBMK reactor, and I was like,
I
please
was
don't.
not. No, I knew better than that.
Okay, so you can go to the slide number 7, which I think you're all on anyway. Here comes some science.
John Denver was supposed to be on the Challenger.
Was it on that specific flight, though, or on a different one? Because it flew multiple times.
He became the leading candidate to be the first civilian in space.
Weird.
And he was planning to write a song in space, but circumstances kept him from joining the ill-fated expedition.
Huh. They did not say that in the documentary. All right, I was
freaking
wrong.
knew it. Anyway, follow me for more John Denver facts. Here you can see all 4 units. Okay, here's my really bad explanation of what an RBMK reactor is. And like I said, I watched the Chernobyl miniseries like 8 times to prepare for this, and I still don't get it.
I don't either.
Look, I don't understand science.
So an RBMK reactor is a graphite moderated reactor, which means that it uses carbon as a neutron monitor. And a neutron moderator, is a medium that reduces the speed of fast neutrons, which are not slow. And that was like specified in the thing I read. Without, I don't know what that means. without capturing any, and then leaving them as thermal neutrons with only minimal thermal kinetic energy. So basically, all of that means that you can use uranium as fuel. Yes. So the graphite make it have energy. The end.
You should have used the explanation from the show, because it's actually pretty good.
I know. I tried to find a script of it, but I couldn't. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm not gonna transpose this.
Fair.
Transpose? What? Fucking, oh my god.
Transcribe?
Yes, that's the one.
There we go.
Scribe is for letters. So, this is a panoramic of Pripyat, and do you see those tall things in the background?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
That's Chernobyl. So
okay.
that is how close Chernobyl was to the city of Pripyat.
60 miles sounds far, but it does not look very far. Or how far was it?
No, it's only 3 kilometers.
3 kilometers? I thought you said it was...
Yes.
It's from Kiev.
No. From Kiev
from Kiev.
Where they originally planned on putting it.
So they'll say Kiev, but the people who work there, you're fucked.
Yeah, so, like, whatever. You chose this job, nuclear engineer and janitor.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to talk about 5 main people involved in this.
Okay.
So you can go to the next slide. I'm not going to go into, like, depth about their lives, except for Valery Legasov, and that will be later.
Okay.
Just because we don't have a whole lot of time, and there's a lot of things to chit chat about. So, these are the 5 people that I think were most integral to the actions of that evening and like the cleanup afterward. So first is Anatoly Stepanovich Dyatlov. So he moved to Pripyat in 1973 to work at the new nuclear power plant, and he's the deputy chief engineer who works on the night shift. So if you watch the miniseries, he's the dick with the mustache in the very beginning who's like, it can blow up. Anyway, it's exactly
just
what
like
he sounds
that.
like. Exactly what he sounds like. I'm really good at impressions. So he worked at a naval reactor in the Far East, and because he had 14 years of experience, that night, the night of the disaster, he was one of the 3 most senior managers at the plant, and he was in charge of units 3 and 4. All right, and then we have Nikolai Fomin, who does not have a Wikipedia page, which I found suspicious.
I have read a lot of these Wikipedia pages just because I did, because like while I was watching the show and stuff. It's weird. He doesn't have like any
he was disappeared by the Soviets, but that's just my opinion. Anyway, he was the chief engineer, and he was the day shift, so he wasn't there that night. He was later. And then we have Viktor Petrovich Brukhanov, and he was the former manager of the construction of Chernobyl and the power plant's director from 1970 to 86. Whoa, words. All right. And then we have, so those are the 3 who were like in charge of the plant that night, that really early in the morning. And then we have two other people who become important later. The first is Valery Alexievich Legasov. He was, I didn't put it in here, but he was a Soviet inorganic chemist and a member of the Academy of Sciences for the USSR. He was called in by the Kremlin to handle the cleanup of the disaster and like how to take care of all of this radiation that was being, spewed everywhere. And then we have what?
What's the Kremlin?
The Kremlin is the governing. It's like the White House. But
yeah, I mean, Russia. I know that, but other people wouldn't.
I know, the governing body. It's like the White House. I don't know, except it's red.
No, you're good. It's like a governmental.
It's a government building in Moscow. Yeah. It's red. It's bricks. And there's a picture of me on Instagram in front of it.
Yep.
And then vomiting. Okay. I think that the milk that they put I said it right this time. I think that the milk that they put in it this time, my coffee, was sour because it tastes really bad and I have a lot of burps. But I'm going to drink it because I need caffeine. Then we have
that
Boris
doesn't seem safe,
what?
But okay.
What?
Doesn't seem safe.
Okay, well, okay. That's fair.
Your commentary has been taken under consideration and duly ignored.
Basically. It's fine.
I'm too tired to not be putting caffeine in my bloodstream.
That's fine.
Then we have Boris Sherbina. What? I like to make up words. He was a Ukrainian Soviet politician who served as vice chairman of the Council of Ministers of the Soviet Union from 1984 to 1989, and he managed two catastrophes in his time, the 1986 Chernobyl disaster and the 1988 Armenian earthquake. And the first time I read that, I was like, the American earthquake? What? Did I miss that section of history? But it's just because I don't know how to read. Anyway, go to the next slide and enjoy my memes.
We have to put this on Instagram later.
Okay.
I love that.
This is amazing.
This is why I said the other day when I was like, I have so many slides but no notes because
They're
I've
all
been making
memes.
memes.
Okay, I
This
understand
is what I
now.
was doing.
That was a fun Soviet summer camp for crimes. I'm sorry, this is hysterical.
I'm sure you're gonna have to cut out 5 minutes of laughing right here.
I just saw me out with a poster of Lennon.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, should I explain what it is?
Yes.
Okay, so on either side, flanking the picture of the trial of Brukhanov, Fomin, and Dyatlov is a picture of Legasov and Sherbina, and they have hearts around their heads, and they're in the middle. It says, "Secretly in love, you can't convince me otherwise. Follow me for more Shergasov fan fiction." And under Legasov, it says, "Baby boy," with an I, "science, trying his best, why they no listen." Under Dyatlov and crew, it says, "Bad boys, but not in the cool, sexy way. Science is for nerds," but that SpongeBob meme. La 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 la, not listening. Go to fun Soviet summer camp for crimes. And then under Sherbina, it says, quote, "Don't yell at my husband, Mr. We need a new phone. We'll die for the party. Definitely made out with a poster of Lenin once." Thank you. I just love them all so much.
Oh, this is amazing.
Isn't it so fun? Don't you love that I just explain memes to you on this podcast, where you can't see what's happening?
Well, not everybody follows us on our Instagram, so.
I know, I'm just saying it's
they
just
should,
kind of stupid.
but.
Yeah, please do.
Follow
Sometimes
for
we
more
put up
Soviet memes.
Sometimes we put up screenshots of our Facebook Messenger conversations.
Oh my gosh.
Like fucking yesterday. I honestly
It's usually
thought
Hannah doing something.
Yeah, it's usually
crazy.
Hannah.
I just,
Oh, man.
I don't live life lives me, so it's really hard for me to have normal times.
Oh, man. I think we were already hyper when we got to this slide, and it just made it worse.
But I worked really hard on it.
No, you did. It's awesome. I love it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, man.
Also, I just want to say the actors they picked for the first 4 people in these pictures are fucking perfect.
Yeah.
And then Shabina, they were like, whatever, throw in a Skarsgård or Sarsgaard or whatever the fuck he is. Okay, are we ready to move on?
Yes, we're ready to move on.
Also, Chergasov just goes so good.
It does.
I love it.
Like, that's the perfect couple name.
It is.
All right, let's go to the timeline of events.
Okay.
This is going to take a long time.
Yeah.
I was going to say, this is the part where it's like, okay.
We're already 40 minutes in, it's fine.
Buckle up, friends.
Good,
yeah.
good. We're going to start with months, and then we're going to go minute by minute.
Okay. Just like they
Right,
did
so
at
this
the
is-
trial.
Woohoo! I know, seriously, I wish I could just play the miniseries and that. Like, just watch
That's
this,
our
please.
episode.
For our podcast episode, you have to watch BBC.
You guys
Oh my
can watch
gosh,
it on
do you
my
know
account, it's fine. I'll share my password.
Wow, we all just talked at the same time. The first time I watched Chernobyl was when I was house sitting for Hannah, and she told me not to worry about Daisy if she just like croaked on me. And then also I ended up like dying at her house. So that was a fun time. Don't watch Chernobyl when you're like delirious.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of gross things in that show.
It's very
Yeah.
gross and very depressing, and like I had a double ear infection, a sinus infection, and the flu all at the same time.
And a sickly dog to look
Well,
after.
yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
by
like,
the way,
Daisy was
Daisy
fine,
is
but-
in heaven. I don't know if I mentioned.
You haven't. You didn't say it last
She's,
time.
Oh, sad. I'm sorry.
cross.
I didn't know that.
Oh, I'm sorry, Shelby. It happened like 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh,
I only know because I
She-
saw it on Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm like barely get on Facebook, but
Yeah, well, I always,
Um,
like, Emma posted something about it, and then I waited a couple
Oh.
hours to make sure Hannah knew, because I didn't want to be the one to tell her that her dog died.
Oh no, I called her
Yeah.
the night before and said goodbye. And
Yeah,
then
but I didn't
they
know
took her
that.
to the vet in the morning because she was really not doing well, and
Yeah.
she went to heaven. And
well,
Yeah.
I'm sorry about
And-
that. I didn't mean to bring it up.
no, it's okay. I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm okay. She really.
Okay.
I feel like she was suffering, and now she's not suffering.
Yeah, that's how we were
Yeah.
with Ted.
I was gonna say, I mean, because I watched her like 3 years ago, 2 years ago, something like
Yeah.
that. So, and
She's
she was
been
pretty
on the
sickly.
verge for quite a while.
Yeah.
She literally lived the last like 10 years of her life with one foot.
Yeah.
In the grave. That dog. Oh my
She had a
God.
lot of tumors, so
She did. She was riddled with tumors.
Um,
Yeah, she was bad.
But yeah,
news.
so I had her and then your 3 cats who like all night long just would like go at each other, Peppa and
Peppa. Oh no, it was really just Peppa because normally those two do not interact, and then throw Peppa in the mix, and she's actual cat garbage.
No, because it was like Peppa would what's the gray one's name?
Josie.
Josie. Yeah, it was like Peppa and Josie because like Josie wanted to like sleep on the bed with me, and then Peppa would be like, "Nah, she's mine," and it was a disaster. And I was like, "But you guys, I'm dying." So
Josie would have
Oh,
just
man.
cuddled with you all night because she has no body fat because she also is 110 years old, and she's just,
yeah,
like,
she
a
she
loose
just
bag
wanted
of
to be like
sticks.
coddled up with me all night, but then Peppa would
Yes.
come up and like force her off the bed. So
Yeah, Peppa would crush her with her immense weight, and
but yeah, so that was the first time I watched Chernobyl and Good Omens. So two
Ooh,
shows
hey,
that
there
you
you go.
should not watch when you are completely delirious.
For such different reasons.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. They are not even remotely on the same wavelength
No.
of type of TV show.
I also watched Chernobyl for the first time at Hannah's house, but I was with Hannah.
because
Oh.
I've made everyone I
She
know
made
watch
everyone
Chernobyl.
watch it.
Well, yeah,
I made
literally
Stanley watch
because
it.
I
go
like
ahead.
came over to your house to like figure out everything, and your mom was like showing me like where the food was and blah blah blah.
And I was like,
And
come
then
downstairs, we're
you were-
watching Chernobyl.
Yeah.
Well, and you were like, okay, here's the TV, here's how to get to the HBO, and you need to watch Chernobyl. Okay, bye.
And then we watched the first episode together, didn't we?
I think so, yeah.
Probably.
That was why
Probably.
I got HBO, was so that I could finish watching Chernobyl.
I know. And you know what else I've watched? I watched one other thing on HBO. It was the West Wing
reunion
voting
thing.
special.
Yeah.
And then I've rewatched Chernobyl about 8 times. It's just so good.
It is.
It is.
Oh! Okay.
Okay.
Every time I say
Timeline.
okay and I'm about to start, I start vomiting. Okay, so this is from the history.com article that I read.
Cool.
Hold on. I really might have to throw up. Okay. So, September 26th, 1977, the Chernobyl nuclear power station, located about 65 Niles? What? Oh my god, what if we measured thing in, like, Nile rivers?
Oh my gosh, my DoorDasher yesterday, his name was Nile, like the river.
That's interesting.
Is it, though?
No, it really is. I'm just thinking about, like, crocodiles and shit. Okay.
Okay.
65 miles north of Kiev, Ukraine, then part of the Soviet Union, begins supplying the power grid. Begins supplying power to the grid is what I meant to say. This is so crackhead energy. Okay. So then in February, a Soviet official says, or is quoted saying that the odds of a nuclear meltdown are 1 in 10,000 years.
That's not how odds work. What?
Okay, listen, they're Soviets. Who knows what they think?
Okay.
By this time, the Chernobyl site contained 4 1,000 megawatt reactors plus 2 additional reactors that were under construction. Okay, so now we are on the night of April 25th. So it is 1 a.m. Chernobyl's operators begin reducing power at reactor number 4 in preparation for a safety test, which they have timed to coincide with a routine shutdown for maintenance. The test is supposed to determine whether, in the event of a power failure, the plant's still spinning turbines can produce enough electricity to keep coolant pumps running before the brief gap before the emergency generators kick in. Ironically, the safety test is what, makes everything blow the fuck up.
Yeah.
If you watch the miniseries, and I know I'm going to bring it up about 7,000 more times,
Yep.
it just cracks me up because, it's produced by British people, so they don't say AZ5, they say AZ5. That's not a real letter, you idiots! Okay. Anyway, I'm over it. So, now it is 2 p.m. On April 25th. Reactor number 4's emergency...
Do you mean AM or PM?
No, PM.
You do mean PM? Okay, just making sure.
I do mean PM. Shannon?
Okay. Well, you jumped from 1 a.m. to 2 p.m. I'm just making sure.
I know. Because the event that we're going to talk, the big event, happened on the 26th.
Okay.
So remember they couldn't run the test?
Right.
Here's why they couldn't run the test. So yes, 1 a.m. 2 p.m. Reactor number 4's emergency core cooling system is disabled to keep it from interfering with the test. Though this doesn't cause the accident, it worsens the impact. At around the same time, the tests and shutdown are temporarily delayed to accommodate the region's power needs. So basically, they got a call from the grid, the people who run the grid, and they're like, you can't do the test right now because we need this power. Like, there's like a spike. People are using, I don't know, what do they have in the 80s? Toasters and boom boxes and whatnot, and we really need this power.
Toasters and boombox.
I don't know. Because it's also the Soviet Union, like...
Literally, what did they have? Like what? We don't know. What did they have? We don't know.
They had state TVs, probably.
Yeah.
Hair dryers, I'm sure. Irons.
Anyway,
I don't know.
They needed power.
They needed power, damn it.
Yes.
So, all right, April 25th, 1986. I don't know, I have to keep saying that. It's the 86. The 86 TM. Someone trademark that. I'm so tired. At 11:10 p.m., operators received permission to continue the test and shutdown. By now, the less experienced night shift is on the job, which purportedly never received proper instructions on how to perform the test. So, think back to the show where they got that binder that was full of like crossed off shit, and they're like, do we do the stuff that's crossed off or the stuff that's not crossed off? And they're like, just follow it, just do it, whatever. And they're like, yeah, you didn't answer my question.
Yeah.
But so the night shift has no idea what they're doing. Not their fault. It's just they should have delayed the test further. It was like really stupid. And also
they just like weren't properly trained for that.
Yeah, maybe keep one guy over from the day shift to like read the pamphlet,
Yeah.
I don't know. Just my opinion. So
you
at
should at least
12...
have one person who knows what they're doing.
Maybe.
Yeah. So now it's April 26th, and it's 12:28 a.m. Power plummets to far below the level at which the reactor is considered stable. Operators respond by removing most of the control rods in violation of the plant's safety guidelines, yet they still have trouble raising the power, in part due to the xenon buildup in the core. Okay, so this is when, remember I talked about Dyatlov? He is the deputy chief engineer, so he's in charge that night, and he keeps telling them, just take all the rods out. It doesn't fucking matter. Just lower the power. And they're like, okay, but we have to do it slowly. And he's like, no, do it now and do it fast. So they do it in a way that makes all of the xenon build up. Like I said, I don't know anything about science, but from my understanding, xenon is building up in the core, and that like is toxic, quote unquote, to the power supply. So, or not power supply, but like to the reaction. So it just kind of like makes everything go wrong. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
Did I explain that well? Probably not. So 1 a.m. the power stabilizes lower than the preferred level, but it's stabilized now, which is fine. So the plant supervisors are ordered to test the procedure. So the automatic emergency shutdown system and other safety features are subsequently turned off. So that's smart. I mean, I know you're doing a test, but like, God, that's so scary, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, let's have a fire drill at a school full of children, but turn off all the fire alarms.
Yeah.
Turn off all the blinking lights. Let's
While
see who gets out
simultaneously
because they
lighting a
smell.
fire.
Yeah, let's see who smells
Yeah.
smoke first.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what they did. So at 1:23 and 4 seconds a.m., like I said, second by second, the test officially begins, and there's an unexpected power surge, probably because of the xenon that is filled the thing. So an operator, I think it's Alexander Akimov, I could be wrong, it could be Toptonov, but I'm not really, I don't know which one, it was one of those two, presses the emergency shutdown button, but the control rod jams as they enter the core. Okay. So Alexander Akimov, who's the Unit 4 shift leader, so in the show, he's one of those two that goes into the room and turns on all the water pumps.
He's the one with the glasses. And he's the shorter guy with black hair and a mustache with the glasses.
Not the
tall, skinny
Wraith.
dude. Yeah.
He's so skinny.
He's
How
so
is he
skinny.
alive?
I don't know. He's
Have
so
you
skinny.
ever eaten food? Anyway, so he was in the control room at the reactor panel at the moment of the explosion with Toptonov. And those two received fatal doses of radiation when they attempted to restart feed water flow into the reactor. Ordered so by Dyatlov. So Dyatlov was like, okay, someone needs to go and... Oh, wait, no, he didn't do that, did he? Wait,
He didn't, like...
Did he tell them to do it? Or
He did
they do
in
it
the
on their own?
show, but I'm not 100% sure if he actually ordered them or if they decided to. Because it's weird, because in the Wikipedia, like, obviously, like, I've only read the Wikipedia thing on this. I haven't done any actual research on it. The Wikipedia thing kind of makes it seem like Akimov made a lot of the decisions that Dyatlov got stuck with in the show. It's weird.
Yeah, but I don't know that that's true.
Oh, no, I don't know if it is either. I'm just saying, like, that's what it's presented as on that one Wikipedia page.
Well, and anyway, Akimov and Toptonov go and restart feed water flow into the reactor.
Yes.
So they either they're under the impression that it's just a meltdown, or they were ordered to go do it by someone. So they either think that it's just a meltdown and not an explosion, or someone told them go do it even though they knew it was an explosion, and they go and they restart putting water through the core to try to slow the meltdown.
Yeah.
Because that I don't know, water make it not melt down.
Well, and I think part of it too is like they genuinely didn't think an RBMK reactor could explode.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
they, you know, a lot of them, you know, Dyatlov did think it was just a hydrogen tank or whatever the hell he thought it was. It's just everybody else was kind of like, okay, but we should stop what we're doing just in case.
Right.
But him and a lot of other people were just like, but it can't explode, so it didn't explode. you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they were in such denial because they thought
Yeah.
that the system was infallible, but it wasn't. It was
Yeah.
like this safety test proved that the graphite-tipped control rods could easily cause an explosion.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get to that in a
Yeah.
minute.
Yeah.
No, see, we all know so much about this. We're so obsessed with it. Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys can go to the next slide. It is a big boom. Oh my god, I really feel ill. Okay, sorry.
Probably because you're drinking spoiled milk.
I love it. Okay. So now it is 1:23:58 a.m. The first explosion, to be quickly followed by at least one more, blows the 1,000-ton roof right off the reactor and shoots a fireball high into the night sky. A blackout roils? Is that a word? Royals?
Yeah.
Rolls.
Okay, the plant as well as the... Anyway, it doesn't matter. There's a blackout, and then also the air fills with dust and graphite chunks. And remember, the graphite came from inside the core, so it is incredibly radioactive.
Yeah.
Radiation begins spewing out. Walls and equipment collapse. Dozens of fires start up, including one on the top of the neighboring reactor. So, like, the roof on reactor, probably 3, catches on fire. And despite all the evidence to the contrary, the nuclear engineer in charge of the tests insists that reactor 4 is still intact. Later, he dies of radiation poisoning, but whatever. That doesn't matter. That's DLF, by the way. Okay. Questions, thoughts, concerns? Next slide.
Okay.
So, at 1:28 a.m., the first firefighters arrive on the scene. They do not know that this is radioactive as fuck, and they do not have protective clothing on. They think that the roof is just on fire, because that's what they see. Like, reactor 3's roof is on fire. So here is a picture of their still radioactive clothing in the basement of the hospital. So once the doctors and nurses realized that the burns that they were suffering from weren't burns from a fire, but rather radiation burns and radiation sickness, they started stripping their clothes off of them because their clothes were so, full of radiation. And they're still in the basement of the hospital today.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that creepy? Ooh, chills. All right. Next slide. So, now it's 2:15 a.m. The local Soviet officials convene an emergency meeting at which they decide to block cars from exiting or entering Pripyat, a nearby city that was built to house Chernobyl's workers, blah, blah, blah. Police officers assisting with the roadblocks likewise have no knowledge of the radiation and wear no protective clothing. So, like, all these people are running around outside and being, like, pumped full of radiation. So that's the Pripyat town hall right there. So at 5 a.m., officials shut down reactor 3 to be followed the next morning by reactors 1 and 2. Okay, next slide.
Bro, can I just super quick? So I found the part in Wikipedia. So it's on Akimov's Wikipedia page, and it has a link to a New York Times article from 2001, and it says that Akimov was the one who ordered 2 other people to go and lower the control rods, and that he was just in full disbelief of everything that was happening. But that doesn't square with, like, how did he get so much radiation poisoning then? He was in a, like, why didn't he get the same level as Dyatlov?
Akimov?
Yeah.
No, Akimov died of radiation in hospital number 6.
No, I know. I'm saying, according to this New York Times article, Akimov did not go lower the control rods. He sent 2 other people to do it. So my question is, if he stayed in that room the whole time, why didn't he get the same level of radiation poisoning as Dyatlov did? Why did he get so much more? That's my question.
But they didn't lower the control rods.
Well, no.
Those were 2 separate actions. Some people were sent to go lower control rods, and some people were sent to go start the water.
Well, no, he didn't do either, is what this thing is saying. He didn't do either one. Sorry, I should have made that clearer. Yeah, like, this article says that he sent people to lower the control rods. They came back saying there aren't any control rods and that a reactor exploded. and that he didn't believe them, and that he told Moscow that everything was fine. But then it doesn't explain how he got so much radiation poisoning then.
Then he must have gone and done it.
He must have. And so I'm just, but like, it's just this
I
one
wonder
article, and I don't know what their source is for this article. I'm just really confused.
Yeah.
Are some people, like, more susceptible to radiation poisoning?
I don't know the answer to that question.
I think if you have really cells, that's really it. So.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I just don't know if, like, you have, if it's a, like, if you have an underlying condition type of thing, like, if you're...
Probably if you have cancer.
Well, yeah, but,
it'll be like, here's some cancer food.
So I don't know if it would, like, read as, like, you having a higher level of radiation poisoning, if you have, like if your body is more susceptible to it. I don't even know if that's a thing. There's not even a way that you could probably test that.
I mean, the way I understood is that it's solely based on how much you are exposed to. It's not down to your individual. Like, it's not a disease, right? Like, it's not...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not an immune system thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm back on the Wikipedia page, and it says that he did pump water. But then why would he pump water if he... I'm just confused. Like,
look, that's one of those things that there's a lot of conflicting information on what exactly happened in that moment.
Yeah, true.
So,
and also everything that we have is heavily censored from the Soviet Union. Like,
also true.
It's like heavily censored.
The trial was basically a mock trial.
It fully was a mock trial. They had already made it.
Well, but like, it's heavily censored. These guys were in the middle of a panic of like trying to figure out what's going on and how to fix it and blah blah blah. And then also like they all died rather quickly.
Yeah.
So their reports are probably not accurate, and then the reports that they had are censored. So like,
yeah,
it's one of those things we probably won't know for sure.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting that the show would portray it that way when there are reports saying that isn't what happened. You know what I mean? And I'm not like saying that, I mean, obviously that show is not 100% factually correct, but they were correct on so many other things. You know, yeah. So I'm just confused.
I mean,
I do remember when it came out that there was stuff on like, this is the few, because there was, I remember there was like one character that they attributed a lot of stuff to, and I don't remember which character it was, but it was like, they like
was it
took
that female scientist?
Yeah.
Because she was an amalgamation of like 50 other
like
people.
5
yeah, I mean, but they did that just to make the show make more sense. Or to make it easier to follow. Like, they could have still made Akimov be a disbelieving person and not, you know what I mean? Not the way he was in the show. I don't know. I just think it's weird, and I'm confused. That's it.
Okay. I have finished coffee number 2. Just an update.
Cool.
All right. Are we ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, it is now 6:35 a.m. and by now all the fires have been extinguished except for the blaze in the reactor core because, clearly. So, by 10 a.m., helicopters have begun to dump sand, clay, boron, lead, and dolomite onto the burning core in an attempt to slow radioactive emissions. So they're trying to smother it so that there's nothing else like spewing out, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And by this time, because he ordered it, Legasov was called into, so this is the scientist, he was called into, First, he was a key member of the government commission formed to investigate the cause of the disaster, but also to plan the mitigation of its consequences. So he's brought in by the Kremlin, by the Red House of Russia. I don't know. And he starts, planning this cleanup. Like, what are we going to do? Because everything is hot garbage right now. He didn't hesitate to speak to his fellow scientists and to the press about safety risks of the destroyed plant and insisted on an immediate evacuation of the entire city of Pripyat, at the very least. He was like, but we should also contact all these other cities that, are in immediate danger. But everyone was like, no, don't worry about it. You can go to the next slide.
Okay. So
delayed reactions begin on April 27th. So a whole day later, they're like, I guess we should not be here. So 300,000 people not all at once, but 300,000 people are eventually displaced, and we're told that it was temporary, but none of them ever returned.
Yeah.
So at 2 p.m., after telling residents nothing about the disaster for some 36 hours, Soviet officials finally began evacuating roughly 1,500 people from Pripyat, as well as... 115. Did I say that?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Numbers. Lots of people, as well as nearby towns and villages. So residents are reformed. Oh my God, are informed that they should just pack only vital things. So like bring all of your documentation, like your passport and whatever, and also some belongings and food. But then they're like, just kidding, you're never coming back. And this is when the exclusion zone is set up around Chernobyl to prevent anybody returning. So we'll talk about that again in a second. All right, so April 28th, so 2 days after, Swedish air monitors detect a large amount of radiation in the atmosphere, which is traced back to the USSR. So Soviet officials admit that there had been an accident, but falsely state the situation is under control. So they could tell by the amount of, I think it was cesium that was in the samples from the air or whatever, that this came from the Soviet Union. They're like, okay, we have an idea that this is where it's from. April 29th, the U.S. gets involved because we're nosy Nellies, and we send a spy satellite over there to take some pictures. So U.S. officials with spy satellite photos provide U.S. officials with their first glimpse of the devastation wrought by the Chernobyl disaster. And then May 1st, Soviet officials refused to cancel May Day festivities in Kiev, even though as radiation is still being released unabated. So, because, that's like a big Soviet holiday, May Day.
May Day.
Just dance in the streets, children. It's fine.
So much of this is reminding me of Trump's attitude toward the coronavirus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally,
even go on spring break, it's fine.
Yeah. It just, it's just reminding me so much of that. Like, even when you said, like, everything's under control, that just made me think of him being like, everything is totally under control. And it's like, no, it's fucking not.
Have you seen that documentary? Did it make you guys watch that?
You have asked us that question 5 times, and the answer is yes every single time.
Yeah.
Shannon, for the 19,000th time, I have zero memory.
And I edit everything, so I remember these things.
I don't.
Yes, I have seen that documentary.
I've already forgotten. Who are you?
Y'all.
See these buses?
Yes.
Yes.
That's how they got everyone out. The end. Moving on. All right, now we're going to talk really quick about those divers. So,
the poor divers.
Seriously, if you want to be stressed out,
I know.
Like that scene
to the point of crying, watch that scene from Chernobyl.
It was so stressful. I was so sick and dying, and I was just like, no, you can't do that to them.
It's just there's no talking in that scene, which I think does it.
Yeah.
Because it's all just sound.
It's
the Geiger counter screaming.
And I already have this like massive fear of like dark water and like getting trapped in like a building full of water and stuff.
Well, there you go.
I was just like, it's cool, it's fine.
Oh my God.
And then the Geiger counter's going like
Geiger counter going off. There's water running. And what's the other thing? Oh, the stupid fucking flashlight.
Yeah, the flashlight dying.
I'm so triggered. Like, it's so... Oh my God, I have chills thinking about it. Okay, anyway. So, during the initial disaster, when all the firefighters were there, they were, putting as much water as they could on the fire because they thought it was just a roof fire. They thought it was that hydrogen tank that exploded. But, however... what they were actually doing was filling up an exposed nuclear core with water, which made it incredibly radioactive. And also, since now we have conflicting information, whether Toptanov and that other one.
Akimov.
What's that guy's name? Akimov.
He did go down to pump out the water. He did do that. So.
Okay.
Yeah, he did do that.
So
that
those
explains the radioactivity that he had. So.
Yes, to the point where all of his skin fell off.
Yes.
I almost put in pictures of radio.
Thank you for not doing that.
What's that called? Radioactive sickness. What is it?
Radiation sickness.
Radiation sickness. Oh my god. But I didn't because I don't hate you two. Okay.
Thank you.
Oh gosh. Okay.
So.
Hold on. Sorry.
No, I won't. You can't make me.
Sorry, my mom just walked in the room.
Mom, I'm trying to record my podcast.
Yeah, she just asked if that's what I was doing, so we're good. Anyway.
My mom would have texted me that question.
My mom would have burst in, seen that I was doing it, and then proceeded to still ask me 14 questions. 14-part question.
And this is our differences in family.
Yes.
She'd be like, well, anyway, I just need to ask you 4 things. Okay. I'm busy. All right, anyway, so the basement is now flooded with radioactive water, and because of this, the molten core is going to melt through the concrete floor, and when it reaches the pools below, since it's so hot, it's going to vaporize the water and have a 3 to 5 megaton explosion that would leave much of Europe uninhabitable for thousands of years.
Yeah.
I don't know how much. I should have looked that up. How much is a megaton?
I have no
much
idea.
is a megaton?
Too much.
Explosion.
How much?
I spelled explosion with a W. Explosion. How much does that mean?
Is it giving you another number that doesn't make sense?
Yeah, they're like, well, in TNT it means 1,000 kilograms. What? That doesn't mean anything to me. Bless you.
Oh, thank you. That's okay, I just spelled. Here, you keep going and I'll look it up.
I'm looking it up
Okay.
too.
Okay.
Oh, it's equivalent to 1 million tons of TNT. So.
I don't know what that means. Anyway, so...
Okay,
big
the
boom.
hydrogen bombs were 15 megatons each. So it would have been less than an H bomb, but still, like, bad.
Still a lot.
But
Yeah.
way more radiation anyway, because
Yeah, and
it's
there would have been the radiation.
giant.
So.
Bad times for everybody. So they're like, all right, let's kill 3 people. So they find mechanical engineer Alexei Ananenko, senior engineer Valery Bespalov, oh my god! Bespalov, and shift supervisor
Jesus Christ, dude.
Boris. Kill me. Boris Baranov. So they get these 3 guys, and they are like the heroes of this story. They went in, they had to go through, like we said, a completely dark basement that was full of radioactive water, and drain the 20 million liters of water that had collected in there, and make sure that all the valves were now draining the plant so that there wouldn't be a giant fucking explosion. And then when they came back, everyone was like, yay, heroes. And then the Soviet Union lost them. They were like, we don't know what happened to them. Oh no, we don't keep documentation because...
That's a great way to get out of paying them the money that they promised them.
They may have been paid, but also they were like, we don't know if they're dead, lol.
Yeah. Well, because they were given a stipend, like, per year. They were going to get X amount of rubles per year. So if they lost them, they can't give them their yearly payment anymore.
Well, I mean they lost them in the sense that, like, nobody really knew what happened to them.
No,
like,
I know.
maybe they did get paid. But...
I just don't trust the Soviets, so, like...
Okay. Well, they were like...
Are you saying
so
I
they
should
were
have trusted the
hospitalized.
Soviets?
What?
Are you saying I should trust the Soviets?
No, I just... Hashtag not all Soviets. No, I'm kidding. Moving on. So all 3 of them went to the hospital, and they were like, oh, they're going to die, so sad. But then they disappeared. And for a long, long time, everyone just thought that they died. But it turns out that until recently, 2 of them were still alive. One is still alive, for sure. Mm-hmm. One died in the 80s, or not the 80s, maybe like 2004, I think. and then another one died recently. So they were doing pretty well for swimming through a pool of radiation. Anyway, and so they stopped that huge explosion from happening that seriously would have killed probably the planet.
I actually, can you imagine if that had happened?
None of us would be alive for sure, because our parents wouldn't have, they would have been affected, and it would have, butterfly affected us out of existence, you know?
It just was,
yeah.
Yeah. It's just nuts.
That's crazy.
Anywho, so thank you to Ananenko and Bespalov and Baranov and phonics, which I didn't learn. Okay. Next slide. So now it is May 4th. And the initial fear of the giant explosion is over. However, under the concrete pad that was built in as a safety precaution, there is the oh my god, what's it called? The water table. And so if the water table becomes contaminated with this radiation, it'll go into the Pripyat River, which will then flow into the Neva, which goes all through Europe, all through Russia, and will kill everybody.
Basically, it all filters down to other water sources and makes its way throughout the continent.
Exactly. So all of Europe will just be DED dead. So now Legasov is like, okay, how are we gonna fix this? So he is like, okay, we need a bunch of people to work. So they get 8,000. Oh my god, why can't I fucking read? 800,000 workers. That's a big difference, Hannah. And they're called liquidators. And they're coming to. Sorry, I almost threw up again. To fix this problem with the water table, they're like, we have to put something underneath that will cool the reaction so that we don't have this radioactive lava flow into the water supply and kill everybody. So they Shabina, sorry, I'm so confused with all my Russians. Actually, they're Ukrainians, most of them. So Sherbina finds 400 miners, and they start working around the clock to prevent this total nuclear meltdown in the water supply. And out of the 400, about 100 of them die before the age of 40. So that's who's in these pictures, some of the miners. So the liquidators start doing other aspects of the cleanup. Also, I would like you two to get out of the PowerPoint and look at how I spelled nuclear.
Oh god, what'd you do?
This is just when I was typing really fast. So
nuclear. Around 10 o'clock to prevent
around 10 o'clock to prevent a total nuclear. Anyway, there's no L in that word, and it's CK because why not? So the liquidators start bulldozing contaminated villages. This part really sucks in the show. They start shooting contaminated pets and livestock.
I hate that part of the show.
I hated that part. And then they start digging up the topsoil and burying it under itself so that it is not just putting out radiation, so that it's at least contained. So again, liquidators. All right. You can go. Oh wait, no, I'm not done. Haha, just kidding. Let's see. So by May 6th, the radioactive emissions have dropped sharply because of probably because the fire has been put out in the core itself. But the officials, the Soviet officials, are finally like, you know what? We're going to close schools in Kiev because children probably shouldn't be playing out in this. And also residents are advised to stay inside and not eat leafy vegetables because leafy vegetables were like, radiation, yum yum.
Yeah.
So, by May 8th, workers finished draining the radioactive water from under the basement. By May 9th, workers begin pouring concrete under the reactor. So there's already a concrete pad, and then they're like, we're going to put another one. And they're also building this thing called the sarcophagus. So this is like after they've cleared all of the radioactive materials off of the roof, because remember, it blew up, so there's like radioactive graphite everywhere. They're like, we need to get rid of this because it is so radioactive it will just keep spitting shit into the sky. They build this thing called the sarcophagus. So it's like a big covered up structure, and it's not great, the first sarcophagus. It's kind of shitty. But don't worry, we built a new one, and the Ukrainian government built a new one in 2019. But right now, they just have the sarcophagus. So they're trying to get all of this graphite, all of this radioactive material off of the roofs. Roofs? What's the plural of that?
Roofs. FS.
Roofs.
Roofs. I would say roofs.
Roofs again.
Roofs.
Because you don't say hoofs.
Well,
you say hooves.
They probably have a different root. I don't know.
Roots.
Goose gets a plural, but moose doesn't. I don't know.
I hate English. I'll say it again.
Okay. They both, roof and hoof, I cannot say them the same way, both originally had two plural forms, hoof and hooves, and roof and roofs. It just depends on which one became the dominant one.
It's not rough.
That's how she says it.
I'm just saying, you're wrong.
I either say roof or roof. There's
roof.
no in between. I'm sorry. It's like how I say root beer. It's roof. Okay. Anyway.
Love you.
Basically, it's roofs, FS, roofs, whatever, is an old secondary form. It still appears occasionally, but
roofs.
Both are correct. That's all. That's all you need to know.
Got all the graphite off those roofs. Come at me.
We still managed to get in a linguistic fight on this one.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, stretching. Okay, so they get all of the shit off the roofs, because there were multiple. Anyway, that's also a fucking stressful scene.
Yeah.
Why would they even give them Geiger counters at that point? Were there Geiger counters in that one?
I don't think so. I think they just had the shovel, but like they had the sound of a Geiger counter going the whole time. So I don't know if
just screaming.
Yeah, it was just I don't think they would have been able to hold one because they had to shovel. Maybe
no,
they
it could have been in your pocket.
To their, yeah, or if it was in their pocket or like attached to their gear or something. I don't know.
Screaming. Anyway,
yeah.
It sucked. It all sucked. Anyway, they got all the shit off the roof and they built a little like metal thing over it called the sarcophagus.
Yeah, it looks like a shed.
Yeah. So on May 14th, Mikhail Gorbachev finally speaks out about it, saying that, quote, "The worst is behind us. The worst is behind us." That's all he said. Why did I keep going? Also, he was quoted as saying that the real fall of the Soviet Union was probably Chernobyl. That's probably what caused it. Because, it was pretty shitty. All right.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, and like it exposed a lot of like bureaucratic failures, I think too. So I think that was part of it as well. But
yeah. So August 25th through 29th, 1986, the International Atomic Energy Agency hosts a conference at which scientists blame the accident not just on human error and a subpar safety culture, but also on motorcycle, fuck off. But also on the Soviet reactor design flaws. So remember, it's all about that graphite.
Yes.
December 15th, 2000, Unit 3, the last working reactor at Chernobyl, is shut down. Units 1 and 2 had been shut down in 96 and 91, respectively. So finally they were like, we're done.
We're officially done with Chernobyl.
And then in April of 2006, Gorbachev writes that the Chernobyl disaster, quote, "even more than my launch of perestroika, was perhaps the real cause of the collapse of the Soviet Union." Man, why did I just save that for the end? Whatever. And then, like I said, in 2019, a second, you know what? It's coming up. Keep going.
Oh, okay.
So, slide 20. There's a 2,600 square mile area called the exclusion zone, and this, what's his name? Legasov really fought to get this made larger, because he was like, it doesn't matter that it's just around Chernobyl. There's like still radiation everywhere. But they're like, yeah, but just don't go into this part. Don't worry about it.
Like the fact that it's got that weird little like peninsula on the left there.
Yeah.
I'm just like so that weird little
live there.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just like, okay, sure. The radiation was like, oh, this land, yeah, we're not gonna touch that because the Soviet Union said nope.
So if you were to go there, to like the exclusion zone, you would have, I don't know how many, like what the equivalent is. Let's say it's a day, because I don't know. It would be like the equivalent of having 21 additional days of world exposure to natural background radiation. What the fuck? To natural background radiation. And that's something I wanted to do when we went to Russia. I really wanted to like see the amount of radiation I had leaving and then measure it when I came back. I just want to know if I like picked anything up, you know what I mean? But that wasn't an option at Missouri State.
You're like, oh, you want to test your radiation levels?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Right, it's like, we're the ones who would be like, ooh, I went to Russia, let me see if I got radiation poisoning while I was there.
I don't think Missouri State has the capability of testing radiation levels.
I don't think so.
Who doesn't have a, what's that called? That thing. Oh my god, what's it called? We've talked about it before.
The Geiger counter?
No.
Oh.
A mass spectrometer.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway. Somebody look into that. All right, so the explosion at the power station and subsequent fires inside the remains of the reactor resulted in the development and dispersal of a radioactive cloud, oh my god, which drifted not only over Russia, Belarus, and Ukraine, but also most of Europe. So everyone got irradiated. I know, but it also went as far as Canada. Did you know that?
I did know that.
I'll shut up then.
Well, I mean, no, I guess it's the other side of Russia. Never mind. I was going to say something stupid. Don't mind me.
Okay.
Alaska? Something about Alaska?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, oh, Russia and Alaska are close by, and that leads to Canada. And then I was like, wait, but the Ukraine's on the other side of Russia.
It's the wrong side. That's okay.
Yeah, like I said, I'm going to say something stupid. Don't mind me.
So, like I said, the Swedes were the first people outside of Chernobyl who were like, something's going on, because they found radioactive shit on their clothes, and they were like, this is not ours. And so they looked into it, and it was Chernobyl's. So the contamination from Chernobyl was not evenly spread across the surrounding countryside, but depending on the weather, like we just said, how wind works, you know, it kind of fell in certain places and then kind of like blew over other places. So maybe that's the cause of that weird dip there. I don't know, but to me that just seems like, is there like a big city there that they were like, just leave it?
Hang on.
Yeah, I have no idea.
See if Kiev's over there. I don't know.
I'm pulling up Google Maps.
Probably.
Let's see. What's there?
So, from the initial explosion and fallout, 203 people were hospitalized immediately. Most of these were fire and rescue workers and people who were directly in the explosion at the time. And let's see. So, the health officials predict that over the next 70 years there will be a 28% increase in cancer rates across that part of the population.
If I'm reading this correctly, there is a city there. In that weird part. So I guess they didn't want to evacuate that city.
Yeah, no, they were probably like, they have some good trade there, or wait, no, we're in the Soviet era. They have some good industry there. Just leave it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a city there. I don't know how big of a city, but there's a city there, so I bet they just didn't want to evacuate it.
Fuck them, I guess.
Yeah. That's if I'm reading this correctly. I may be mismatching things, but I'm pretty sure there's a city there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
So Soviet scientists reported that Chernobyl Unit 4 reactor contained about 180 to 190 metric tons of uranium dioxide fuel and fission products. So they estimate that about of this material that was in there, about 5 to 30% escaped, which kind of makes it sound like
that's
it
a
just
lot.
got up and, I know, but it also kind of makes it sound like it just got up and ran.
I know. It escaped.
Like, it hulked out and just, like, punched a hole in the roof and ran away. I'm gonna kill Belarus! Okay. So, like I said, because of the intense heat and the fire, and since the fucking roof blew off, there was nothing to prevent it from escaping, so when it was vaporized by the heat or the water or whatever was happening to it, I'm not gonna be able to say this word because I'm stupid. Particularized?
Yeah.
So it turned into a particle? Okay.
Yeah.
And was, like, shot into the atmosphere, and then it was like, who wants some acid rain? Just kidding, it's radiation. Okay. So, now let's talk a little bit more about the workers. You can stay on this slide because I just have so much to say. Like I said, there were about 600,000 liquidators, so the people who worked in the cleanup. Most of them were rewarded with Soviet medals of honor, especially the, what's this one called? I forget. Oh my god, I didn't write it down. I'm so stupid. Okay. Just like a medal of honor, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Let's see. They received probably the highest doses of radiation, these poor liquidators. Mm-hmm. In most cases, they were not equipped with any sort of dosimeter, which is like a Geiger counter, to measure the amount of radiation received. So, they could only guess at how much radiation they, or like doses they, I don't know, ingested? That's not the right word. Absorbed.
Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta turn my thing up. Okay, let's see. So, between 300,000 and 600,000 people were involved in the cleanup, and many of them entered the zone 2 years after the disaster. So, like, the initial cleanup happened, and then they were like, we gotta go back and double check your work.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Okay. So, alright, a 7-fold increase to DNA mutations has been identified in children of liquidators. So, after being liquidators, these people went home and had children, and then these children were 7 times more likely compared to their siblings who were conceived before their parents worked at the accident to have changes to their DNA. So whether that was like a genetic defect, like you've probably seen, like, there were a lot of videos that showed, like, kids who were born without appendages or who had, like, disabilities, and those but these have diminished over time, so it's not really a thing anymore.
Yeah.
And also I was reading about, I didn't put this in here, but I was reading about, did I put it in here? No, I didn't. About people having, like, abortions and stuff, and about radiation scares afterwards, like right after Chernobyl. But that wasn't necessarily true. It might have just been, like, played up by other countries, like Western media or whatever, to say, like, oh man, these people are just so scared of this radiation that's gonna kill them, and so, you know, these godless Soviets are getting abortions left, right, and center, or whatever. But that didn't necessarily happen. It just maybe a couple of people did, but, like, it wasn't like a widespread thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a media myth, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, next slide. So this is a pig.
Oh.
I would have liked a warning for this.
Sorry. You can just hang out on the map.
Okay.
Go back to the map.
Ugh.
I mean, I've seen that picture before, but yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's a pig that has, like,
It's got some...
It's mutated and deformed.
It's mutated.
It's very
Let's
deformed.
Just phrase it that way. Yeah.
Lots of legs and stuff. So there's also an impact on the environment, if you could believe it.
Yeah.
So large swaths of pine forests were killed. There's a really, it is called the Red Forest. There's a really great image in that Chernobyl not documentary.
That is not
series.
a documentary.
No, it's not. I want to call it that though, because it's so good. Anyway, where you can see the like line where the wind is carrying all the radiation and all the trees in the middle of it are dead, and it's so good. Italian kiss. So all of these dead pines were eventually bulldozed and buried. Livestock were removed during the human evacuations, and by removed I mean like shot and buried under concrete. So other places in Europe, there were levels of radioactivity in the food stocks. So for a while, freshwater fish in Sweden and Finland were banned for resale, and owners were advised, like, I know you like to fish in your backyard, in your pond, whatever, your lake, but don't eat it, because certain kinds of fish, oh hi Pep, were absorbing a lot. Oh, she's rubbing on the microphone. Were absorbing a lot of radiation. So let's see. So, of course, there were physical deformities in plants and animal populations, and poison, like, everything was poisoned, everything was terrible. All right, let's talk about birds.
Okay.
So, there was, like, a study done on swallows. Have you seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail?
Yes.
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 Okay, just wondering. African or European. So there were abnormalities. What? Abnormalities. Holy fuck. So in the birds that were looked at, that included albinistic plumage. Oh my god, albinistic plumage. Their feathers were white.
They were albino birds.
There we go.
They were white. Deformed toes, tumors, deformed tail feathers, deformed beaks, deformed air sacs. So these birds had reduced viability in the wild because clearly, and just kind of died out. Okay. Invertebrate populations like bumblebees, butterflies, grasshoppers, dragonflies, and spiders decreased? What? Decreased. So they all died. Oh my god. Fuck me. Lakes were radioactive for a little bit. Yep. Humans were getting radioactive from drinking cow milk.
Yeah.
Because why not? I think that also happened in the Bikini Atoll when they were testing nuclear bombs out there, that people would drink coconut milk and then get cancer. I'm not laughing at that. I'm just everything's stupid. So they officials banned milk for a while. They're like, stop it, we're done. So it caused children to have like thyroid issues. Some plants and aminals. Oh my god.
Are you okay, Hannah?
No!
Does one of us need to just read your notes for you?
No, I can do it. I can read. So some plants and animals were able to adapt to the radiation levels. Like, the paper that my dad wrote, I think, was about deer. Like, just about the deer in Chernobyl just running around. And some of them were able to develop, like, mechanisms to tolerate the chronic radiation that is lethal to other things like people. Oh my god, there it is. Okay. Holy shit. So animals have reclaimed the land, such as a certain breed of horse that I'm not going to even try because it looks very, what are those people? I'm that people. Polish. It's too hard. There's too many W's. The Eurasian lynx, the wild boar, gray wolf, elk, red deer. Red deer, that's what he wrote about. Moose, brown bear, turtle, voles, mice, shrews, European badgers, Eurasian beavers, raccoon dog, red fox, roe deer. Maybe it was the roe deer. No, I'm pretty sure it was the red deer. European bison, black stork, golden eagle, white-tailed eagle, and eagle owl. whose populations are all thriving within the exclusion zone. That is. So it's like a wildlife sanctuary almost.
Yeah.
So at first animals were just popping out, things like that poor little pig.
Yeah.
But then they were like, you know what? Let's just have really cool thyroids and get over it. So let's see. Really quick before we move on. Oh no, what did I click? Oh, okay. In 2016, 187 local Ukrainians had returned and were living permanently within the zone. So they were like, fuck the government, and went back to the exclusion zone. Which, I don't know, they're psycho. All right, next slide. Like I said 1,000 times, in 2019, a 2.15 billion euro structure, which in US dollars is 2.3 billion. Wow, that took me so long. $2.3 billion shield has been built over the reactor number 4, and that should last about 100 years, hopefully. So they say. We'll see. Okay, next slide. Let's talk a little bit about the trial. I don't want to go into it. It was definitely a mock trial. Shannon, are you happy? Okay.
I mean,
were you waiting?
No. I mean, I figured you would talk about it at some point, but I also I don't know how the Soviet justice system works. So I don't know. I don't have any commentary on how normal this trial was.
I have only read the early Soviet penal code. Don't laugh at me.
No, I know.
I've only read the one that is from 1940, 1940s and before.
Yeah.
Actually, it started during it started after the revolution, but then was amended a couple of times. But it's basically for any crime you do, and this is such a Russian thing because it didn't just start during the Soviet era, this shit happens all the time. Basically for any crime, for most crimes, you just get sent to Siberia. Yeah. That's really it. You either get executed or you go to Siberia.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
The end. Those are your options.
Yeah. I just
sometimes you go to jail, but not really.
Yeah.
Jail is for whiny babies. Okay. So this was a mock trial, really. It took place from the 7th to the 30th of July. What are you doing up here? You better be good. Of July in 1987, in a temporary courtroom set up in the city of Chernobyl, which is in the Ukraine.
Just
okay,
why?
My cat is stuck on me.
Okay.
Oh my god. She flipped backwards onto my bed with her claw still in my sweater and did a backflip. Great. All right.
Why did they have the trial in Chernobyl? Just to emphasize how bad it was, or?
Chernobyl was a different town. So the nuclear reactor is called Chernobyl, but Chernobyl is a different town, and it's not Pripyat. There's a different...
Yeah. No, I just mean, aren't they still within, a very radioactive area? That's
I don't actually know where Chernobyl is located.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the same place.
I would assume so.
Where is Chernobyl?
I like how we're all looking it up.
Well, yeah. It's a question.
Okay, except here's how I spelled Chernobyl. CHERNPM semicolon. And Ukraine is spelled UKTSAIN.
Yeah, it's
within the exclusion zone.
Yeah, and it's where the thing is, so, yeah.
Well, anyway, they're fucking stupid, I guess. That's the reason.
Okay. Whatever.
I mean, you can, go there.
No, I know, but,
You're not supposed to, but
I know.
People go there all the time.
But, I mean, even then, it would have been more radioactive at 87 than it is now, Mm-hmm. It's only a year afterward, so... I don't know. I just think it's dumb that they had the trial within the exclusion zone when they were trying to kick people out of their houses. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, are you surprised, though?
No, not at all.
They're like, this is killing us. Let's get closer.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
End our suffering. Okay, so there were 5 plant employees who went on trial. So we already talked about 3 of them. We talked about Deputy Chief Engineer Dyatlov, former plant director Brukhanov, and former Chief Engineer Fomin. But then also the shift director of Reactor 4, Rogozhin, Boris V. Rogozhin, was also on trial, and also the chief of Reactor 4, Alexander Kolovenko. So the State Committee on Supervision of Safe Conduct and Work in Atomic Energy sent, and the inspector of this was named Yuri Laushkin. Yes, I'm going to say Laushkin. Sentenced them to 10, 10, 10, 5, 3, and 2 years, respectively. Wait, 10? That's too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What?
It's fine.
That's so many people. Anyway, they all got sentenced. Whatever.
They all had to do time.
Labor camps, aka fun Soviet summer camp, 4-year crime.
Yay.
So Akimov and Toptanov and another person named Valery, oh god, here we go, Paravoshenko received official letters, but prosecution against them and the employees that had all the dead people basically were like, never mind. They're already dead. So Dyatlov was found guilty of, quote, criminal mismanagement of potentially explosive enterprises and sentenced to 10 years of imprisonment. Ah! Of which he would serve only 3 years. And that was for his role that he was the one in charge of the safety test that night. Brukhanov, the former director of so he used to be the director of the Balakov, it's literally, you can do this, Balakovo nuclear power plant. Anyway, he was stripped of his Communist Party membership and spent a year in Kiev, in a Kievian prison waiting for trial. He was found guilty of gross violation of safety regulations and sentenced to 10 years in a prison labor camp plus 5 concurrent years for abuse of power. And he served 5 years. So Fomin, he spent a couple of months in a Moscow prison because he got sick, and he was stripped of his party membership and arrested in August of that year of 86. He spent a year in a Kievian prison awaiting trial. He was cleared of all charges of abuse of power, but found guilty of gross violation of safety regulations and sentenced to 10 years in a prison camp. But then he had a mental breakdown, and they kicked him out of Siberia, because why the fuck not? And then guess what?
I already know, so don't have me guess.
They let him work at another nuclear power plant in Russia.
Yeah. Because that seems like a good idea.
Actually,
Smart
I kind of feel bad
move.
for him because he did try to kill himself right before the trial. He broke the lenses out of his glasses and tried to slit his wrist.
Dang.
I mean, that takes some dedication.
Yeah.
I guess.
Not really, but still.
Ugh.
Anyway. So that's those 3. Now let's talk about the people who died directly. I don't want to say directly as the people who were there that night who died.
Yeah.
So first we have Alexander Kimov. He was the Unit 4 shift leader. He was in the control room at the reactor control panel at the moment of the explosion with Toptanov and received a fatal dose of radiation during attempts to restart the feed water into the reactor. So, it's the Order of Courage. I knew it. Anyway, sorry, that was the award. Oh my god. Then we have Anatoly Baranov, and he was an electrical engineer. I don't know what happened to him. He probably died of radiation. Yeah, because it was May 20th. He definitely died of radiation.
Yeah.
Then we have, oh god, Vyacheslav Broznik, who was a senior turbine operator. He was in the turbine hall the moment of the explosion and received a fatal dose, so over 1,000 rad, yes, during the firefight and stabilizing the turbine hall. He died in a Moscow hospital, and was awarded the Order of Courage. I'm pretty sure everyone here got the Order of Courage.
That's my thing with Akimov, because, like, he's the one who, there's conflicting information, but then they gave him this medal, so, like, I'm just, yeah.
Yeah, but, like, criminals get this medal, too, so I'm not saying it's, like...
Okay.
I'm just saying.
It's not the best.
Okay, that makes me seem like I'm shitting on all of these people. Like
No.
They deserve it. They like died, and a lot of them died in a heroic fashion, trying to save others and whatever. But also, like, why would you this is gonna sound so stupid, but at the same time, why would you put any weight on anything that a Soviet government hands you? You know what I mean? I could say the same thing with the American government because
you're right.
Yeah.
Whatever. Then we have Victor. Why didn't I read these before and put them out phonetically? Degtyarenko. Victor Degtyarenko, who was a reactor operator. And at the moment of the explosion, he was close to the pumps, and his face was scalded by steam and hot water. And I know. Vasily Ignatenko, he's the firefighter in the show. He was the senior sergeant, first crew on the reactor roof, and received a fatal dose of radiation at trying to extinguish the fires. Yekaterina Ivanko was a police guard and guarded the gate opposite to Block 4 and stayed on duty until the morning. Then we have Valery Kholmenchuk. Oh my god, I hate Ukrainian. Sorry. He was at the main circulating pumps and a senior operator stationed in the northern engine room and was likely killed immediately. He was the one whose body was never found and is entombed forever within the building. Then we have Victor. Letters aren't making sense in my head anymore. Victor. Are you guys still here?
Yes.
Yes.
Hang on.
Okay.
Hold on, let me scroll.
No, I can do it. Victor Kibenok. He was also a firefighter. It got really quiet and you guys stopped being...
I was just waiting for you to say the word.
Okay, I just got sick to my stomach with how much I hate myself. Victor
Kibenok?
Kibenok.
God damn it. Kibenok. Okay, Shannon, cut that out. Victor Kibenok.
Fuck! Kibenok. Yes.
Victor Kineb...
Oh my god!
I have a disorder. Victor Kibenok.
There you go.
Okay.
Oh my god. Was a firefighter. He was a lieutenant, leader of the 2nd unit fighting the fires. And he, was also awarded... Oh no, he was named a hero of the Soviet Union. Then we have Yuri Konoval. He was an electrician. That's all it said about him. Alexander Kurdraevstev, who was a trainee, which totally fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, like, training for your job and, like, you receive a fatal dose of radiation by manually lowering control rods? That sucks. Anatoly Kurgs? Yeah, I did that right. Was an operator in the central hall, and he also was scalded by radioactive steam, which fucking sucks. Alexander Lelichenko was a plant worker and deputy chief of the electrical shop. Oh wait, that was of a different place. Ignore that. He... Oh my god, Shannon, your little...
I'm sorry.
Blinker.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. At the moment of the explosion, he had just arrived to Block 4 control room and he... what am I trying to say? Okay. To spare his younger colleagues from radiation exposure, he himself went through the radioactive water and debris 3 times to switch off the electrolyzers and the feed of hydrogen to the generators, then tried to supply voltage to the water pumps. After receiving first aid, returning to the plant and worked for several more hours, and then died in a Kiev hospital. So,
That's
like,
so sad.
He did so much.
Yeah.
They gave him first aid because he was dying of radiation, and then was like, I gotta go back. Ugh. So then there's Victor Lapatuk, who was an electrician, and he received a fatal dose of radiation during switching off the electrolyzer. Then we have Claude Klavdia Luzganova, who was another police guard, and was only about 200 meters, so like 660 feet from the block when it blew up. Then we have Alexander Novuk, who was a turbine equipment mechanist and inspector. He received a fatal dose of more than 1,000 rads during firefighting and stabilizing the turbine hall.
Did you mean machinist?
What did I say?
You said mechanist. It's machinist.
I'm fucking stupid. I know it's machinist.
Okay.
I'm having a stroke.
No, you're fine.
I don't know if I made that apparent. Oh my god. My cat just yelled at me.
I heard. Yes, she chirped.
Okay, Ivan Orlov was... wait, how can I say this like how I said the other one? It's not funny, but I just want to do it.
What?
Physicist?
Oh.
I know.
Now you can't even
Physicist.
say it.
It would be like physicist.
Physicist? It's a physicist. And received a fatal dose of radiation after attempting to restart the feed water flow. Whew. Then we have Konstantin Perchuk. Perchuk. He was a turbine operator and senior engineer. He was in the turbine hall the moment of the explosion and received a fatal dose of radiation. My cat is trying to eat Professor X. He might tip over. Alexander, how many more do we have? Oh my god. Okay, cut that out. Pretend like I didn't say that.
You're on Valerie.
No, I know. It's just my
Voschenko.
Can you hear this?
I can barely hear you. You're too far away from the mic.
I'm not. My mouth is in the mic.
Okay.
Turn it up. I'm trying to put my purring cat on here. Can you hear her? Tap dancing? Okay. Valery Perevoschenko. Did I do that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you did.
Hell yeah.
Good job.
I can read. He was a foreman in the reactor section. He also received a fatal dose of radiation while trying to locate and rescue Kodmanchuk and others. So he was trying to find his friends, which is so sad. Alexander Petrovsky was a firefighter and was... So remember, the firefighters came in at like 1:30, and he was there until 6 a.m., so just getting that much radiation.
Oof.
Then we have Grigory Popov. He was a vibration specialist. Don't know what that means, but, you know. He was in a mobile laboratory in Vehicle 8 at Turbine... What? In a vehicle at Turbine 8, and that's all we know. Vladimir Pravik was also a firefighter. He was a lieutenant of the first crew on the reactor roof, and repeatedly visited the reactor and the roof of Unit C at level 71 to supervise firefighting, and received a fatal dose. Peppa, can you move? While attempting to extinguish the fires on the roof and reactor core. He died 2 weeks later. Then we have Viktor Proskurov. Oh my god. Proskurikov, who again was another trainee. Oh, so sad. And again present at the control room during the moment of the explosion. My cat's licking me. What do you want? Anatoly Shapovalov. Thank you. Shapovalov. There's no R in there. What? Was an electrician. That's it. That's all we know. Vladimir Shashenko. That's what I said. Shashanok.
Hannah, I
was
just have
an
a
automatic
question. When you're reading, do you have like an internal voice that is like...
I skip over things that I don't know.
Okay. I'm just wondering...
No, actually...
like, how this works. Because like when I am reading, I can hear the words in my head, you know? Like, do you have that?
I can too.
Okay.
Yeah, I have an internal voice.
Okay. Some people don't. I'm just wondering.
No. I have it. I just, if the word is hard, I skip over it.
Okay.
That's not true. I will read it if I'm alone. I will sit and spend time with the word until I am familiar with it. But like, I don't usually have to read out loud. And I think the
True.
reading out loud thing is there's no connection between my brain and my mouth.
Which is so weird.
If that makes sense.
When I'm reading
Because I
things
read
out
a lot.
loud, yeah. When I'm reading things out loud,
yeah.
I cannot tell you what I said later because I'm literally just repeating what is right in front of me. Like, I can't, like, I'm not reading it. I'm just seeing it and telling you what it says. You know?
Yeah.
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 I just don't understand because, like,
don't
I know
either.
you know how to say all of this.
you know how to say these.
Like, you know how to speak.
I do.
I mean, you know how to, like, say Russian and, like...
I think it's the reading out loud.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at the next one, Anatoly Sitnikov, and
You can do
I
that.
looked at it, I read it first.
Yeah.
No, I read it first before I read it out loud.
Mm-hmm. It's just weird.
I don't know. Anyway, he was the automatic system adjuster stationed in room 604, found pinned down under a beam with a broken spine, broken ribs, and deep thermal and radiation burns. He died in a hospital without regaining consciousness. That was Vladimir.
That's probably for the best for him, honestly. Didn't regain
Yeah.
consciousness.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Hi, Peppy. Do you like Russians? These are Ukrainians. Hi. She's like up in my face and being so cute right now, so now she's probably going to bite me in a minute.
We've been recording for 2 hours. We're almost done. Let's do
I know. Anatoly Sitnikov was deputy chief operational engineer and physicist. He received a fatal do you hear this?
Yes.
That's my cat fucking biting my microphone. What are you doing? Oh my god, what was I saying? Received a fatal dose while surveying the damage to the plant and assisting with... Can you not?
Sounds like she's licking it.
She's biting it. Get out of here. Surveying damage to the plant and assisting with restarting coolant flow to the reactor. Okay, we're almost done. Volodymyr Tishura was a firefighter, a sergeant. That's really it. Nikolai
Titanok?
Yep, that one. Was also a firefighter, a senior sergeant. Yep. I mean, everyone died of radiation poisoning unless otherwise stated.
Yeah.
So Leonid Toptanov, we've talked about him quite a bit. He was a senior engineer for management of the reactor and was in the control room at the moment of the reaction, and he was one of the people who went to turn on the feed water. Mykola Vashchuk was a firefighter. Yuri Vershinin was a turbine equipment machinist and inspector in the turbine hall. Again, died of radiation poisoning. Okay. And then some other heroes I'm just going to mention were the scientists who worked with Legasov and spoke out against the, quote, official account of what happened. Because remember, this was all like, it wasn't our fault. Soviets are infallible. And a lot of them were denounced, arrested, and imprisoned. Like, Legasov lost everything. He was stripped of all of his titles and of his position at the university that he worked at. And speaking of that, we can go on to the last slide. So, really quick, the official Soviet death count is 31. 2 people dying immediately. 2 people dying immediately in the explosion, and then those other 29 people that I just read to you. But it's more likely anywhere between 93,000 to 200,000.
Yeah.
So this picture that you're looking at, that is Professor Legasov's grave, and 2 years and 2 years after the Chernobyl disaster, Legasov hanged himself in his Moscow apartment, and he did this for a couple of reasons. First, I mean, because he was definitely dying of cancer. Another one was that because of his death, he knew that people wouldn't be able to ignore what had happened. So, like, he recorded all of these tapes, and you can see that in the show. And those tapes were real. He recorded them, and they were highly dispersed amongst the scientific community because he really wanted people to change the RBMK reactors to not have that fatal flaw, which was that when it has that buildup of xenon and you go to press that button that drops all the control rods at once, it's going to cause a reaction that is going to blow up and kill everybody. So he recorded these tapes that sort of explained that and explained like what went wrong and what actually happened. And when he died, people couldn't ignore that. So people looked into it. Lots of scientists were able to, kind of get a say in with the government, and we're finally like, we need to change this thing. And so eventually RBMK reactors did change and were updated to not have that fatal flaw. So
yeah,
that is what happened in Chernobyl.
Sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And 7 hours later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
Thoughts? Additions?
I mean, I probably can think of something, but...
The first time I ever heard about Chernobyl, I was homesick in, like, middle school, elementary school, and they were doing a thing on it on the History Channel, so apparently I just like to watch Chernobyl stuff when I am sick, but, yeah, I don't know, it's... Every time I watch something new, like, you learn something new about it, and it's sad. And the fact that they, like, covered so much of it up and tried to be like, oh, it didn't happen, wasn't that bad, everybody's fine.
They also, like, kept information from people so they could have fixed it, which I think is also a big part of the issue.
It says Legasov had also become bitterly disillusioned with the failure of the authorities to confront the design flaws.
Yeah, because they didn't want to admit something was wrong, which...
Right.
We talked about Challenger earlier. That was why the Challenger exploded.
Yeah.
So, it's not just
Listen.
Soviets.
And that's why COVID has been so bad.
Yeah.
Look, things go wrong. It's fine. Just admit it and fix it and move on.
Just fix it. Ugh.
Like, it's... I mean, obviously, being like, just fix it. Like, obviously, there's other things that go into fixing problems like that, but...
But politics should never be involved,
No.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, not when it comes to, like, a disaster of this scale.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a nuclear plant. Like, if something goes wrong, it's going to be catastrophic.
Yeah.
So, you have to fix it. Like, you can't just be like, no.
Well, they didn't fix the problem with the Challenger because they had already delayed the flights a bunch of times, and NASA had told Congress that wouldn't happen anymore. And they would have had to take the Challenger out for like 2 years, I think, to fix the problem with the O-rings, which is what made the thing explode. So.
Yeah.
This might not be true because it's from Pinterest, but let's end this on a quote. According to Pinterest, Valery Legasov was quoted saying, "Every lie we tell incurs a debt to the truth. Sooner or later, that debt is paid."
That's at the end of the show. That's from the show. I don't know. It might be from him. They pulled a lot of quotes.
I don't know if it's a real quote, but it's a good quote.
It's a real picture of him.
Yeah.
With that line over it.
Yeah.
So it's not the actor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not funny. Everybody died.
Yes, but...
Okay,
but yeah,
it's been
so
2 hours. I have to go do laundry
Chernobyl,
or I can't
guys.
go to work tomorrow.
Okay.
My cat is laying on my bladder, and yeah,
Okay.
it's a problem. So,
Oh my god.
our ending is that we have no ending. Goodbye.
Peace out.
Goodbye.
Don't
Toodles.
blow up your reactor, please. Please.
Just fix your problems. Okay, cool, bye.
No more graphite. Thanks for listening to The Triad. Our music is by Scott Buckley. Our audio is recorded by our sound engineers, Craig Bott and Audrey Credo.
If you like the show, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, YouTube, and Tumblr as The Triad Podcast.
We're also on Patreon as The Triad. Currently, all Patreon funds will go towards the cost of hosting the show. Each tier has its own rewards, but every patron receives our undying gratitude. Do you have comments, questions, or stories? Email us at thetriadpod@gmail.com. And thank you again for listening to The Triad, where we're spooky but sensitive.